Let me ask you real quick. Do you want the house tour? Do you want the house tour? Like beautiful Miss Sabrina Carpenter said, let's do a house tour. If you guys are new here, hello, I'm Holly. I'm 26. I am just living my life with my dog and my partner. I love creating content. I love capturing memories. And I'm so excited you're here on my channel. If you're here, please subscribe. Please turn on those notifications. I'm so excited to be sharing more of my life with you. And as more episodes release, make sure you have those notifications on. Now let's jump into it. I have been asked to do a full tour of my library since I started TikTok. Ever since I've been making bookish content on my TikTok account, the most requested video I have, hands down, has to be my bookshelf tour. So why not bring the people over? Let's bring y'all to YouTube. You know, we're jumping ship from TikTok. We're doing our thing. But why don't we do a long video? I just felt like, how do I do a video like that justice? I have hundreds of books here. Okay, I have a full library. I'm talking like a wall full of shelves we've seen. I am so grateful. This library has taken years and years to build. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do a TikTok that is like less than 60 seconds and like do it justice? So here I am, so thrilled to be doing my house tour, my bookish house tour, and I hope you all will enjoy. I have worked so hard moving, rearranging, changing everything, these shelves. So over the years, they have changed. They will change again. Nothing is set in stone. This is just the way I like them right now, but I am so excited to be sharing that with you guys. And then I have a new addition to my bookshelf, to my entire library that is going to be running the show. She applied for the job, she interviewed, she got it. I am so excited. We have somebody to be keeping inventory here. I am talking full-time inventory collection down to like the littlest detail, what copy it is. This past Christmas, my beautiful, beautiful partner, Max, got me a scanner. Beep, 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 beep. I am so excited to be using this. Max just went through and set up the software online. I don't know if it's like through an app or a website or something, but the way that this works, he ordered this off Amazon, and I haven't done this. He's done a few like practice runs to see if it worked. But what you go through your entire library and you barcode scan every individual ISBN code on the back. What it does is it takes the direct information from that barcode and uploads that ISBN number to a website that has my entire library under my profile. So I'm not putting this out there. God forbid anything were to ever happen. God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. We're not putting that out into the universe. But if it did, like a bonus of like, other than just like saying I have my own library inventory tool, is that my books, I will know exactly what is a part of my collection. I can take inventory. I can know what is what. I believe there might even be an app where you can check your inventory on your phone. So like imagine the amount of times I've been to the bookstore. Like this has actually happened an embarrassing amount of times that I have purchased a book that I already have at home on my shelf. On the topic of books, you know, off of inventory and my tour, I just wanted to talk about some of my bookish goals for 2026. This is a new account, so you may or may not know much about my reading history. I have been a huge reader ever since I was little. Like I'm talking, as soon as I could read and write books, I was reading and writing my own little books as a child. I've always had a home library. I've always had tons of books. They've been a part of my life forever. But obviously there's two series in my heart that just I love more than anything. That is Twilight and The Hunger Games. And those two catapulted my relationship into reading. They catapulted my relationship into reading. So of course, I am so excited to be sharing my bookish journey with y'all. But some bookish goals for 2026. I was a huge reader growing up. And then kind of high school, college, I stopped reading. I felt like that was like the time when our homework was only reading, like only academic reading, and nobody wants to be forced to read. Like nobody wants to be forced to read. So it kind of took the fun out of reading for me. I'm not going to lie. And then COVID happened. I graduated college and came home and was reintroduced into fandoms and was reintroduced into reading. So in 2023, I read over 150 books. And then 2024, it died down. I read no books, like literally like maybe 5 to 10 books. And then in 2025 was the year that I fell back in love with reading. 2024, I burnt myself out. My goal is to never read so many books. Like, I'm not yucking anyone's yum. Preface, the amount of books that you read per month, per year, per minute, per second, per whatever, especially for someone who makes content in the bookish world, like I am not the fastest reader. I am a fast reader. I'm not the fastest. I'm not going to get through 300 books in a year. I'm just not. I have to be realistic. I totally respect and value people who are able to do that. And I totally take all of their thoughts into account because they've read so many things. But the thing is, it's hard to compare yourself, like we're all on different journeys. We work different jobs. We live different lives. We have different schedules. So like the amount of reading, the way you're reading is so different. So for me, I don't want to push it too far. So this year I have a few bookish goals. My first and foremost biggest bookish goal of this year is to stop and slow down and write a review. For the love of everything, Holly, write down your thoughts. Write down even just the FMC or MMC names. Like literally that would help. Something like that would help. I literally never write down any information about a book I read. The only time I go back to a book is if I absolutely just need to read it. Rereads are few and far between. So it's like, I need to be jotting this down. Jot down notes, jot down reviews, thoughts, quotes, character moments, everything. Write it down, even if it's bad. So I got myself a reading journal. I am going to be doing a deep dive into my reading journal and my other journals that I have in a different video. But I am trying my hardest to get my full thoughts on a book out on paper. So that is goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to read 51 books. About this, my goal for last year was to read 50 books. I read 46. So no, I did not reach my goal. But then why would I was like, I could go lower. Like I could make my goal 25. No. Our goal was 50. We're going to meet it. And not even that, we're going to do one better. We're going to do 51. So my goal of the year is to read 51 books. If I do it, I do it. If not, I don't. It's just kind of to keep me on track. So I would say those are probably my biggest goals. Obviously, I want to be reading outside my genre, but I also would like to do more buddy reads and tandem. I would also like to do more buddy and group reads. I do a lot of individual reading, obviously, but the point of why I'm doing my social media, besides to put a journal for myself together and put journals out there for people to see what my life is, I want to create friendship. I want to create community, and I want to experience books and media with friends. So I actually, in my Discord channel, if you guys are a part of the Discord, we have a whole server dedicated towards asking for buddy or group reads. So we do have a book club, of course, but if you just want to pick up 1 or 2 books, that's what I want to do. And then finally, I would say my last goal is to gift somebody an annotated book. I think annotated books, when somebody goes through and thinks about you and annotates a book, it's just so thoughtful. It's so meaningful, especially if it's like their favorite book. So my goal of the year is to pick a loved one and go through and read a book or reread their favorite book and annotate it, mark it up. And that's what I want to do. That is a personal goal, like a gift goal this year related to books. But those are my bookish goals related to 2026. I don't have too many expectations for me. Honestly, just enjoy reading. I think we put so much pressure on each other and on ourselves to read faster, to read more, to keep up with current reads, to read certain things. It's like, no, at my core, I am a mood reader through and through. And I think everyone should be mood readers. Pick what you want to read. There's a billion books out there, you guys. There's a billion books out there. There is something for everyone. And if you're not vibing it, put it down, start something new. No hard feelings. Girl, I am a classic DNFer. If it's not doing it for me, I will DNF it. That's it. So that is kind of like my bookish overview, blah, 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 bookish goals of the year. But without further ado, let's jump in and do some inventory. Let's look at these shelves and let's go. This is my horror shelf. As you could tell, Pennywise is greeting you. We have the lovely, lovely It by Stephen King. That giant takes up my shelf. I just love Pennywise staring into my soul. If you know me, you know Pennywise, you know It. It's probably one of my favorite things out there. I love Stephen King's It. I love the original miniseries. I'm watching Welcome to Derry. You know, I love. So here is the glorious Pennywise just smiling at me. I haven't read all the books on my shelf, mind you, just so you know. Also, don't come at me for the used sticker on this book. But obviously, besides Stephen King's It, the book that I am obsessed with the most has to be Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This book is absolutely insane. I was just telling one of my besties about it. It is set up like an IKEA workbook or an IKEA pamphlet, and it essentially is a horror story written by Grady Hendrix in the format of an IKEA manual about people who go missing in IKEA, and then just bad things start to happen, and it is an evil place. So it is a horror book, but hear me out. It is so interesting, so fascinating, so fun. I love Grady Hendrix. He is my king of horror. And so, yeah, that's just my horror shelf. I just have some reads up there that, you know, I love all my horror. So this is just a best shelf. And then, like any romance girly, I need to have a sports romance shelf. Please don't give me judgment for my off-campus series right now. So I have the first original print deal, like with the people on it, not the cartoon. So I kept that. I bought that years ago. I didn't buy book 1 and the updated cartoon character redraw. I don't know where book 2 is. That is the thing. So I know we're missing books 2 and 4, but like just go with the flow. Go with the flow. They're there. You know, they're there. I'm not much of a sports romance girly, but what I do love is Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Let me tell you, Fangirl Down, whenever anyone asks for a sports romance recommendation, instantly I go to Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Is actually a golf book. And hear me out, I'm not affiliated with golf. I've never played golf in my life. I'm not a golf girly. I don't watch golf. But like, this book is so cute. It's literally about a fangirl of a famous golfer. It's kind of like this trendy, hot, kind of a dick, you know, bad boy vibes, but she's like his number one fan, and she gets to be his caddy at the end of his career. When his career is just going to crap, she takes over and becomes his caddy, and I love it. So I actually love that whole series. It is a sports romance series from Tessa Bailey. First book is Fangirl Down. Second book is The Au Pair Affair. Third book is Dream Girl Drama, which I love. Hear me out. It's Stepbrother, Stepsister, but it's so good. I literally was sold on Dream Girl Drama. If you need a good sassy girl, you know, he'll give her the world, he'll do anything for her trope, read Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey. And then of course Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey is her fourth book in the standalone series about a baseball player. So that is my sports romance shelf. And then this is my LGBTQIA plus shelf. This obviously has all of my favorite queer reads. I've read so many off of here, but of course my favorite has to be Mistakes Were Made. I'm showing it off. I also just adore the author Rachel Lacey. I would really recommend Stars Collide by her. That has to be my favorite book. It is so much fun. I love everything she does. A lot of her books are on Kindle Unlimited if you are interested, so go ahead, check out Rachel Lacey. She's also such an amazing author. She interacts so much, and I won an art giveaway from her. That's the first art giveaway I've ever won in my whole life, and it was so exciting. This is just my favorite contemporary romance writers I have. I kind of wanted to spotlight their work and put them together. I have one of my favorite LGBTQIA plus writers here That is Alexandria Bellfleur. I love her books. Written in the Stars is the first sapphic read I ever read, actually, and I love it. I love all her books. I have them signed, hence why I have 2 copies of multiple of them, because chances are one of them are personalized to me. So thank you to my friend for getting those signed for me. I also have some Sarah Adams books on my shelf. I have Ellie Hazelwood. And then, of course, I have the queen of the rom-com book, Miss Megan Quinn. So those are my Megan Quinn books. I love the Vancouver Agitator series. Although it's a sports romance, it should be on the sports romance shelf. Megan Quinn deserves her time and her space. She follows me on TikTok. I can't believe that. And I've been to 3 Megan Quinn events because I'm from Colorado, so I've seen her so many times. But this last time was so much fun. I went to Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, and we got these individual pictures with her, these Polaroid pictures, and I'm so excited. So that's what that is on my shelf. And then this is just kind of like my fantasy slash like utopian. I love Scythe. Scythe is incredible. If you've read Hunger Games, it's a young adult book. It's so good. It's about the idea of what if we lived in a world where there was no natural death. So there are these people called scythes who go out and control the population. So that is a really interesting trilogy. And I get to This Is How You Lose the Time War. That one's up there. I need to read the rest of the Powerless series, to be honest with you. I'm like way behind on that. Rose in Chains I actually haven't read, but I just think the cover is so beautiful. So I just want to show it off, hence why I'm showing it off. This next shelf is a 2-parter. It is my cowboy romance shelf. If you know me, you know I love a cowboy romance. My life runs on cowboy romance. It is my genre. It is my subgenre. It is my life. I love her. So this is probably my favorite of the 2 shelves. But this has Chasing the Wild, which is a special edition by Elliot Rose of the first book in the Crimson Ridge series. I absolutely adore it. Then I have my Rose Hill series. I have a couple Target editions scattered in there. And then I have Cowboy Casual, a Cowboy Ween bookmark. And then I have 2 sets of Done and Dusted series signed by Lila Sage, who's the author. I had her sign the front of the ones on top because I would love to frame them one day and put them up because they are my favorite romance series. And then the ones on the bottom are the ones that she pre-signed in advance that I pre-ordered. So yeah, the front page of those are signed like normal. And then I'm missing a hardcover series of them. I can't find that anywhere though. I actually went to go see Lila Sage in Colorado Springs for the last book stop tour of her Wild and Wrangled tour back in April or May. And under our chairs was this paper that says, "Welcome to Sweetwater Peak, Wyoming." This was before Soul Searching came out in September. And the night that I was there, she gave us these. This was the cover reveal of Soul Searching. So I have this cool little relic from her that I keep on my shelf. And this is part 2 of my cowboy romance bookshelf. I have just kind of honestly miscellaneous all over the place books. I like to try a bunch of standalones. I have some parts to series I'm collecting. I also have Western Barbie. I love her. You may have seen Western Ken, Cowboy Ken up top, but that is also to not call attention to the fact that I'm missing 3 of the 5 Chestnut Spring series books. To be fair with you, to be honest, my sister and my mom are each borrowing one of the books, and I don't own the second book. I never owned Kate Eaton's book. I just never did. I never picked it up. So I have to get that at some point, but that is why that is kind of lacking in terms of the Chestnut Spring series. And then just all over the place, we got a broken candle. I hold on to this candle from Target. As you can see, there's a crack in it, but like, nobody can tell unless I point it out. So this is part 2 of my cowboy romance shelf. And then this shelf is my banned books shelf, I like to call it. It has all of my books from high school, books I read in college, anything that I've read academically in a fiction standpoint, as well as all of my favorite banned books. I'm talking Handmaid's Tale, which is a classic, 1984, Looking for Alaska by John Green. I have The Bell Jar. I have The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, which I did read my sophomore year of high school. And I have, as you can see, my To Kill a Mockingbird is destroyed. Like, that copy is destroyed. Same with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You can just tell which books I read in high school. And I think the fun part is that I actually have all my old annotations. So, you know how teachers made you do annotations in high school? Well, guess what? Guess who has them? I do. They're mine. And this may or may not be my most defining shelf. I mean, besides the cowboy romance shelf, lol. But this might be the most defining shelf of mine. I love this shelf. This shelf is comprised of my top books of all time. So from left to right, I have my romances that just changed my life. I love Ali Hazelwood. B.K. Borison's First Time Caller was such an amazing read last year. And then I am such a fan of Tessa Bailey's It Happened One Summer. Did you all see that casting? Can you believe the casting? Oh my gosh, just announced, so excited. And then, of course, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I am a huge TJR fan, but I adore Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Probably one of my favorite books of all time. I just have to display her. And I searched high and low for this cover. This is not the special edition. This is just the original hardcover. And I searched years for this. And I'm so grateful I finally found a copy. In the middle, I have some horrors / thrillers I really love. I love Southern Book Club's Guide for Slaying Vampires, The Long Walk by Stephen King, Bunny, and The Housemaid. The Housemaid was the first Frida McFadden book I read. I actually read my first Frida McFadden book last year, back in October of 2025, where I read 10 books back to back. And now I'm just a Frida-holic. So actually, when I'm recording this is the release day of her book. So happy release day, dear Debbie. And then, of course, my other favorites, some TJR. I love Malibu Rising. But next to Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Carrie Soto is Back has to be my second favorite book of hers. I just adore Carrie Soto is Back. I love My Best Friend's Exorcism. That is by Grady Hendrix. It's a beautiful story of friendship in the 80s between two girls who one of them gets possessed by a demon. And I actually ended up bawling and crying. Like, when Grady Hendrix writes a horror book, it's not just scary, it's not just social commentary. It is a beautiful depiction of character, of growth, of storytelling, and he does such an incredible job. So if you haven't read My Best Friend's Exorcism, not only is the cover amazing, he's the one who also wrote Horror Store, so you guys are sleeping on him if you're not reading him. And then, of course, I have Miss Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. I think about that book on a daily basis, especially in the world that we are living in right now in America. I think of The Nightingale every moment. And I'm so thrilled for that movie. And then my final two are two contemporaries that I love. I love contemporary women's fic. It is Pizza Girl. I love Pizza Girl. It is so good if you've not read it. And then Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. So those are the books that make me. These books are the best of the best, and I love them so much. This next shelf is a little bare bones. I have, of course, the forefront of everything is The Kiss of the Basilisk, Split or Swallow duology right now. I guess there's 2 books right now. Kiss of the Basilisk and Between Two Kings are iconic, iconic, iconic. I needed them to have their own shelves. So this one is kind of a work in progress. I'm just displaying my La La Land coffee cup I got in Nashville. And then of course I kind of just put Fourth Wing up there because I respect Fourth Wing, you know, give her a place to go, you know, give her a place to go. And then I also have Bury Our Bones and the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. That is high up on my TBR. That is a signed copy from Barnes & Noble that I am so excited to crack open. And I think I'm going to love it. So I'm kind of putting it up there preemptively. And then The Gracier is one of my favorite books. So I have that up there as well. So that's kind of just, it's a little bit bare bones, but it's a work in progress. You know, these shelves are always moving around. We got to keep them moving. And get ready for a little bit of an overstimulation here. This is my Twilight shelf, as you can tell. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Twilight and Hunger Games are what got me into reading. They are what kept me into reading from childhood into young adulthood into adulthood. I adore these series so much. As you can tell, I have a few copies, but I'm so proud to say that my Twilight copies on the left are my original copies of the books that I've had since I read them when I was 10. And then I have a couple pops. I have some more pop figures. I just can't find them right now, so I'm dealing with that. Peep the 10-year Twilight anniversary of the upside down conjoined book of Twilight and Life and Death. Interesting fact about me, I love Life and Death. It might be better than Twilight, in my opinion. If you want to fight, we can fight, but I just loved Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer. That was the gender swapped Twilight book that came out for the 10-year anniversary of Twilight in 2015. Literally insane. I also have both special editions that came out in 2025, and they're just the best. And then of course I have my VHS covers of Twilight and Midnight Sun. Midnight Sun has to be my favorite in the whole series, but these are by, I think it's Katie Videos. I'll tag her down below if you're interested, but she makes cool VHS horror type vintage 80s covers out of any movie or book series. So this is her Twilight collection, and it goes well with my mass-produced paperback edition tie-in covers. She's a Twilight girl. I love this shelf. I don't want to brag or anything, but I haven't seen anyone else do a shelf like this. This is my seasonal shelf. As you can see, I have my summer reads, and then it goes into fall, early fall. Then it gets into kind of like Halloween, you know, with the vampires, the witches, the werewolves, and then it goes over to Christmas books, which are just, you know, Christmas spirit. And then I have my Valentine set up with my Valentine's Day Kylo Ren with the kissing booth. I wish that it was $1 to kiss Kylo Ren. I really do wish that. But below, you can see that those are kind of winter books I've picked out. They're not necessarily Christmas or holiday books, but they're winter books. So that is kind of like my winter setup. And then you can see Late Bloomer is kind of like my first spring book I have picked out. So it goes in order. It'll kind of go like winter and then spring, summer, fall. You know, I'll just translate it over to the left. And then this shelf is based off of my local library setup, which I love. I love a library. Shout out to public libraries. The H is for Holly, of course. We love. But these books, I know it looks all over the place. These are my most recent purchases, and I would argue probably my highest on the TBR. Yeah, there are TBR reads scattered throughout this entire shelf. But this is probably one of my favorite shelves in particular because it has all my quote new releases to me. So the idea is like when I finish a book, instead of just going to look through the genre, I like having all the books that I'm eyeing for a potential read up for grabs in the same place. And the way I organized it is kind of like on the left, you can see with Dungeon Crawler Carl, I have some fantasy. It transitions over to some nonfiction. So, these ones I consider like we need to read and educate ourselves and like get that perspective from. So that's kind of that. Under the H, I have some contemporary women's reads. I'm really excited to read Portal Mania by Debbie Urbanski. It's kind of like a Black Mirror type short story book that I'm really excited to dig into. And then over on the far right are my romance and my dark romance reads. It kind of like the further you get over to the right, the further dark romance it is. So this is kind of like my new shelf. I'll just go here if I'm looking to pick up a book. High priorities here. I'm combining two shelves into my next shelf tour. This is my contemporary fiction shelves. I have so many to be read on these shelves, but some of my favorite, of course, are Normal People. I love Sally Rooney. I love Beautiful World, Where Are You? Probably one of my favorites of hers. A lot of mental health representation on here, lots of rogue woman books on here, which I love. I have some Emily Henry's, and then The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which is originally signed. I think I got this at Barnes & Noble, and it even has like the signed copy sticker in his handwriting on it. So I think that's so cool. And yeah, so I have mostly, I tried to do hardcovers on bottom. At one point, I split my hardcover contemporary fiction from my paperback because, I don't know, that's just what I was feeling. But now I kind of wanted to combine them to, tell a story through this. So it is kind of broken up. It just makes sense to me, but it's a little bit messy looking, but it's a bottom shelf. So, who's paying attention? This next shelf I have is all my contemporary romances. So I just kind of have them set up here. There is no rhyme or reason. Pause if you want to see any of the titles. But yeah, most of these are TBR. Most of these I'm guilty of being TBR. And quick, before the sun sets, I have been filming this for hours. Here is my dark romance shelf. I'm just going to pan along and show you guys. But this is my favorite, Navessa Allen's Lights Out. I also have Caught Up Special Edition, and I love the Wicked Villain series by Katie Roberts. That is probably my favorite, but here are some of my others. I love a good old dark romance. I am hoping to get into more of these in 2021, so stay tuned. And then this is my Bookish accessory shelf. I just kind of wanted to show it around, like move the camera around a little bit. I have highlighters. I have mini books. I have a sticker pad, stickers. I have sticky notes, Kindle inserts. And then I have my 3-tier sticker organizer, which if you were here in my last video, you saw me organize this. Go check out my last video. Well, I have my bookmarks, which is in this cute glass. And then like right here, this is where I charge my bookmarks, which is in this cute glass. Just like Bookish, and then like right here, here on this shelf. are my books. You know, we got a lot of Greek mythology. We have Gregor the Overlander by Suzanne Collins. So yeah. Corner of the shelf, so definitely the ugliest, I'm sorry, but this is my nonfiction shelf. I have it split up from like education, like college stuff, like, you know, media, and then I have brain stuff, mental health, and then I have a couple memoirs, and then a bunch of books about fandom, women, girls, gender, sexuality. And then here's kind of just like random rest of the assortment. This is like some favorites, but more like clean romance. Like I have Lynn Painter. I have Casey McQuiston's I Kissed Shara Wheeler, which is her YA book. One of my favorites. I think it's my favorite Casey McQuiston book. And then just some Regency books as well. So yeah. So the sun is now setting. I have literally spent most of my day doing this video, but it took a lot of moving the camera, the tripod,
The sun is now
everything.
setting.
So
I have literally spent most of my day
doing bookshelf tour. I am so thrilled to have finally gotten to share
The sun is
some
now
of
setting.
my books, my
I have
collection
literally
with
spent
y'all.
most.
I am so thrilled to have you a part of my journey, and thank you so much for following. What are some of your favorite reads you saw on my shelf? How do you organize your shelves? Are you a color person, genre, read, not read, TBR? Like, let me know how your shelves are set up. I'm sure mine will be moving. I don't want to say soon, but soon enough. But I am so thrilled, so blessed. I love my library. It's always growing, it's always changing. I'm swapping books out, I'm selling, I'm trading, I'm giving away, I'm getting new books. So that's what I love about this library that I have, that I get to call my own, is that I am so proud of it. I have curated all these books, kept them together, and I'm just so excited by my bookshelf. I love watching bookshelf tours. I love seeing what people have in their houses. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. You guys, my name is Holly. I am so grateful that you all are here, and I am so looking forward to our next video together. I hope you enjoyed this little Bookish bookshelf tour video, but this was just my little bookshelf tour. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.